Young man ends engagement to older fiancé after finding shocking list of 56 men she planned to hook up with before their wedding. Guys, welcome back to Alpha Talk. So, for today, I'm going to go over an email sent from a subscriber. This is about a young guy who at the ripe old age of 24 was all set to be married. He was engaged and also about to be married to a woman who was 31 years old. Until one night when she was out having a girls' night, and I'm sure some of you guys know what that sometimes means, he found a list that she had in her house, a listed envelope with a pen in it. And the list was basically a giant, for lack of a better term, guys, to hook up with before the wedding list, okay? And on that list, there were 56 names. 31 had been checked off, but his name was on the list. So, these are guys that she obviously wanted to hook up with before she said I do, while she was still with this guy. And as you can probably imagine, the guy lost it. And you'll see what happens with her the whole wedding, and what he obviously does in the end to get a little payback there. And also, guys, what's interesting about this story is this guy, as it turns out, he's been watching the channel for quite some time, but he's only been a fan recently. Because prior to that, he was, I'm guessing, a troll who thought everything that I said was complete BS, okay? He thought that everything I said about relationships, dating, women, all that stuff was complete BS. He would be one of these guys that would comment things like, "Who hurt you?" and "You're bitter," and all sorts of insults like that. Until, in his own life, he experienced a lot of things I talk about in my channel, from stories that guys upset me, stories I've gone over, articles and all that. And now, after this has all happened to him, it's a complete 180, and now he's a fan of the channel because, obviously, he got burned really bad and he sees what I talk about isn't a bunch of crap, okay? And I got to tell you, I have a lot of respect for this guy for emailing me and admitting he was one of those guys, but now he went through this and now he sees things differently. I have a lot of respect for that, and he's obviously on the path to making his life a lot better after this very hard lesson he got in life, especially when it comes to today's women. So I'm going to jump right into this, guys. He says, "Hello Alpha Talk, hope you're doing well. I'm a longtime viewer of the show and have been a short-term fan since I always called BS on everything you said about marriage, women, and relationships. I always said things like, 'Who hurt you?' 'Oh dude, you're just bitter. Jealousy doesn't get you anywhere,' until reality blew up right in my face. So I'll get to the point. Let me just say this, guys. The #1 comment I get all the time is, 'Who hurt you?' Not just from women, but also men, okay? Guys like that he used to. And let me just make this clear, if there's the idea that I started this channel just to basically make myself feel better or get even, maybe so to speak, because I've been hurt my whole life or something like that, that could be further from the truth. That's complete BS, okay? Yes, when I was growing up, my teenage years, high school, when I was just as clueless as most guys are, I made a lot of mistakes. I got hurt, I got burned, all that, girlfriends, girls I liked, and all that. But I learned a lot of lessons then. And so I've taken all my experiences over the last few decades, both with relationships, dating, pickup, all sorts of things, and what I've learned the hard way to help you guys out. So that way you guys, especially you younger guys who are less experienced, don't have to go through the same pain and frustration and humiliation and all that crap that I went through. Okay? That's it. And, of course, I talk about really good news articles, things around the world with regards to the effects movement and the impact it has on men. I obviously talk about helping you guys get and become the best you can be because I've been a lifelong business owner, entrepreneur, to help you guys make more money, do well for yourselves. And, of course, on the fitness front, encouraging guys to get in great shape, be healthy, all that because I am also a personal trainer. So that's why I do what I do, It's not about because I was hurt and damaged my whole life. It's complete BS. And the #2 thing I get all the time, the other two question I get or accusation is, "Oh, you must hate women." And also, that could be further from the truth. Not once in my 400+ videos have I ever said that or implied it because that isn't true at all. But I will because as a men's channel talk about, obviously, women and female nature, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to help guys out because guys need to know these things. And most guys are completely clueless until they get burned so many times in their lives. Anyway, so that's my quick story there. And if anybody still has a problem with me and has accusations about me, y'all can kiss my ass. But anyhow, so he gets to his story. He says, "I am a T24-year-old male and I was engaged to a T31-year-old woman. It is fair to say, ever since we started dating about 2 years ago, she always pressured me to commit, move in together, and get engaged. Well, I could have told you how that was going to happen, right? And 24 years old, dude, you're a baby, okay? You should not be thinking about getting married or being engaged at 24 years old. And obviously, this guy knows this now. But for anybody else that's this young, you're going to do it in today's world. And I recommend you don't, given how things are with the family courts are and how the deck is stacked against guys. If you're going to do it, at least get some life experience. You have a whole life experience at 24 years old. Wait until you're like 30 years old or darn close to 30. We save a lot of money, have built up your career, got some, become comfortable in your own skin of who you are, travel the world, all those things. Get some experience. And by then you may realize, that is not for me. And she was older than him. It should be the other way around. If it should be more like you were 31, she was 24. I was found normal, and I'd be a liar to say I didn't like it because I thought I was winning with an older lady and felt like, damn, I got an older chick. As if I was winning. Well, if you're obviously just hanging out and having fun and, all that, that's one thing. If it's just about sex, that's one thing. However, if you're getting married, that's a different ballgame, okay? Because, he met her when he was 22. You're going to find out if he was 22 and she was 29, he is kind of winning. Or he's going to get some experience and have fun. But because she's still in her prime in her 20s, if of course she's good looking, but if he's 24 and she's 31 to get married, I don't see that so much as him winning. He says, my friends, I should mention also a pack of beta males like myself. And he says, yes, I admit it, I still am. I know, but I'm in the process of becoming alpha, one step at a time. And I'm sure this experience, which you're going to hear about, definitely set him on that course. This girl and I have been together for almost a year. And I can tell you, you've been together almost a year and you're engaged already? Slap. I can tell you things are okay in my view. But I now understand that she always viewed me as a meal ticket. You're getting engaged when things were just okay? If you're gonna get engaged or remarried, things better be way better than just okay, okay? I have to wonder what his family life was. I have to wonder what his situation, the relationship between his mom and his dad, was just okay, and that was a model for how he was going to go about marriage, seriously. And I don't need to bust this guy's balls, but it's an important question to ask. If you're gonna do it, guys, things gotta be way better than just okay. About 6 months ago, I couldn't find my underwear after she did the laundry. And I texted her while she was out on a girls' night that Saturday night. I know, crazy. And she told me to get them from her cabinet. Dude, you texted your girl when she's on a girls' night because you couldn't find your underwear? I know you said you were definitely a beta back then, but yeah, I guarantee you she showed that text to her girls. And they probably laughed their ass off. And that only just motivated her to obviously have flings with other dudes. Do your own damn laundry. Don't have your girl do your laundry and put away your underwear and like that. Be a man. To my surprise, I found an envelope with a piece of paper and pen inside. It got my attention, and when I looked at it, it was a list that had 56 names on it. My name was not on the list, but on the top had 4 initials, FLBW, which obviously meant F-list before wedding. 31 names had check marks, and I can tell you that I was crushed by that. I never thought this would happen to me, especially since I was the cool guy in high school and had a bunch of girls. Well, maybe you thought you were cool, but maybe you weren't as cool as you thought. You just had some girls that liked you. 31 names checked off? That's a lot of names for her fooling around before you get married. I took a picture of the list and put the envelope back and got on Facebook. Most of these guys were guys I've met, and even shaking hands with their parties and work functions. It made me feel like I thought about going to the bar, but I didn't want to get in trouble since I decided to stay home and drink some Havana Club rum that my mother brought me back from Cuba. That night she came back at 3 a.m., sloppy drunk. I honestly wanted to talk when she was sober. I couldn't sleep at all that night, so I stayed on the back porch until dawn on Sunday. I did speak to my boys, his friends, and they told me to leave her, and I should never marry someone who will go as far as having a effing spree before the wedding. One of them offered me to move in with him while I get back on my feet, and I accepted it. On Sunday, she spent the entire day asking me if everything was all right because I honestly couldn't keep a poker face. Well, if I was all set to be married and found out that my fiancée had not just cheated, but had actual lists where she was keeping a record of all the dudes that she was hooking up while we were together, I wouldn't be able to keep it quiet. On Monday, after she left, my boy came over and helped me pack my things. Yes, I moved in with her, another big mistake. Am I gonna touch that one? I grabbed all my belongings and left. She called me a couple of times throughout the day, as she normally does, but I didn't respond. I'm a Spanish-English translator for hospitals, so I work from home, and that allowed me to pack and go while she was gone. When she came back around 5 and didn't see me or my stuff, so she started to blow up the phone, but I didn't respond. Later that day, her friends started to call me and text, and she went as far as calling my parents, and they started to call me as well. But I told them not to worry, that I was okay, that I just didn't want to be with her anymore, so they understood. So she's panicking. On Tuesday, I woke up literally to over 15 missed calls and like 40 text messages. I replied back saying I will come over around 6:30 and never mention anything about her precious F list. I printed out a copy of the picture and took it, and came over later that day, which my friends highly oppose, concerned for my own safety because crazy people do crazy things. But I want to confront her face to face. Well, good for you, you're being a man. When I got to the house, she had cooked me my favorite food. She had wine, and 2 of her friends were there. So she knows obviously something's wrong, but she's going to bring her wing girls along just for her to back her up. That doesn't show a whole lot of respect to me if she obviously knows something's wrong in the relationship. Obviously, because you know what she's been doing behind the scenes, and she couldn't be there by herself. Music, one of her friends is a couples therapist, and the other is getting her majors in psychology. What a coincidence. So, I knew the drill. I didn't eat the food and didn't drink the wine, afraid of being poisoned. Well, I wouldn't go that far, dude. There are witnesses there. It could be a case if you're not for me, you're not going to be for somebody else. I might be paranoid, but things happen, and you never know how far someone's willing to take things, especially women that are angry. I sat down on the couch, and her friends started talking to us about the relationship and asked me a million questions. It is not her friend's business. And man, let me tell you something. If it was me, this would happen to me, but if this happened to me, and I got to the house, and she's obviously in the wrong, and she had her friends there, I would just say to the friends, I would be pleasant about it, just, hey, listen, she and I have to talk. I'd appreciate it if you guys would mind stepping out. And if they wouldn't do it, I'd walk, end of story. And believe me, watch how fast those friends will be gone, okay? But it goes to show you the low-level respect she has for this guy, obviously, that they're supposed to just talk, and she has her girlfriends there. One is a therapist, and the other one is staying psychologist to analyze you, okay? Pay attention to these things, guys. So, the friends started asking a million questions, which you never should have tolerated or answered. But obviously, you were a different guy then. So I asked my ex-fiancée, I want to talk in private, and she said, no, let's talk here, they can help us. So that's all. So I said, all right, let's do it your way. You should never have accepted that, okay? And again, you wanted to do it in private, but she wanted to have her friends there, okay? That's what appeasing type of guys would do, you know. You're the leader, you're the man, you set the tone, you set the direction as things go, okay? You don't have her damn friends there to analyze. And by the way, I'm sure many of you guys know that I've done relationships. You ever get into an argument with a woman? It's bad enough, let alone having multiple ones coming at you because there's all sorts of, there's no logic. There's always emotions and crying and freaking out and all those accusations and twisting things around and gaslighting and all that with just one, let alone having multiple coming at you. He says, I opened up my jacket and gave her the picture of the list and she completely freaked out. I had never seen that face on her. She told me that she made that list before we got together and that it didn't mean anything to her and that she's loved me more than anything in the world. But I obviously didn't believe it. Let's just say she made the list before they got together. Well, still, she was checking off the list while they were together and she would have gotten rid of it. And believe me, it was in such an easy place for him to find. I asked her about the pen inside the envelope that had the initials MFA, Museum of Fine Arts, which we had gone to a couple weeks before with her nephews when they were visiting. When confronted with this evidence, she sat quiet and said, I love you. Please don't go, give me a chance. Her friends were also quiet, and neither of them is saying anything. Well, that's a surprise, given the fact I guarantee her friends knew about this. I told her I was foolish to think that you ever loved me. In reality, you never saw me as your first choice. Instead, you settled for me because none of these other guys from the list gave a crap about you. You put the beer barrel at a 45-degree angle, and now you're drinking from the very bottom. And that's where I am for you, the effing bottom. She covered her face crying and said, please give me a chance, we can work things out. I got up and said to her friends, I'm sorry you guys, you had to see this, and left. I would apologize to them. Since then, I got on my purpose. I basically tripled my income, started working out, and lost over 40 pounds. I had my own place and even adopted a dog from a local animal shelter. That's awesome, man. Amazing what happens when you stop making women your purpose and relationships your purpose and focusing on your goals and ambitions. Tripled his income, lost 40 pounds, working out, got his own place, and they got a dog, man's best friend. Although I'm a cat person, so we can debate forever about the whole, best friend thing, because I got cats that basically behave like dogs, so I got the best of both worlds. I saw her not too long ago, and she had gained weight and asked me to come over whenever I want for dinner. But there is no way that is ever going to happen. That's good. You cut her off and moved on. And now listen to this. I saw one of her friends at the mall the other day, and she told me that I looked better than ever, and that's a shame that the ex-fiancé didn't know how to get the best out of me. The friend and I have hung out a couple times and have had sex a few times, but nothing serious. So, these good friends of hers, it's amazing. It's amazing to me with women with the whole frenemy thing. Guys don't have frenemies, okay? Women have frenemies. These are the type of friends they hang out with, but they don't entirely trust and would probably stab in the back and a heart in a snap of a finger, right? And so these are her friends, and this guy ends up hooking up one of her friends. How funny is that, But considering she had the giant list and there were 31 dudes that she checked off before she was, obviously, that she was hooking up behind his back, I think that's quite more than fair. He said, yeah, we had sex a few times, but nothing serious. I spoke to my dad not too long ago, and he said that success is the best revenge and that the fact that I'm doing better than her in every aspect of life is going to drive her crazy. You bet your ass. Absolutely. Success is the best revenge in anything in life, guys. Absolutely. But with women, it's like your average girl can get guys. Let's be honest here, okay? No problem. She's not bad looking, kind of cute. She's gonna get guys, okay? They may not be the top guys, but she's gonna get guys. A good-looking guy is not gonna have as easy as an average girl attracting the opposite sex. But the one area that we will conquer is success making something of ourselves. And so we're making a whole lot of money. That's where we conquer. That's what we can reign supreme if we put our heart into it, our mind into it, our soul into it. That's what I encourage you guys to do. And also, the easy way to get revenge on a woman that's done you wrong is simply the next girl you're with, or the woman you're dating, are younger and hotter than her, or banging her friend. I know this is a little long, but I want to share my story with you in the audience. Keep up with the good work. Well, my friend, that is a great story, and again, great job of ending the situation and moving on and working on your purpose. I think that's awesome. And again, guys, you see here what I'm talking about here. Focus on your goals, your ambitions, making yourself much better. You'll see how much better your life will be. Stop making women your purpose, okay? So many guys do that, and it doesn't go very well. Notice that the guys that make their goals and ambitions their purpose, that they make that their reason for getting up in the morning, they make that their number one priority, they're doing great. And they have women chasing after them left and right, okay? And last but not least, I gotta again comment the fact that this guy was once a troll. I thought everything I said was a bunch of crap. I have a lot of respect for you for writing me and admitting obviously that I took balls, and I respect that. But for a lot of guys out there don't like me. If you think I'm full of crap, listen to this guy, okay? If you think of old crap, just keep doing what you're doing, and you're just gonna wait and see one day that the same thing in one form or another is gonna happen to you, and you'll come back here and say, maybe this jackass that wears his sunglasses every day in his videos actually knows what he's talking about here anyhow. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.